The Kingdom of Dragons, Book 1, by Kara Rook. Prologue. Michael rushed down the spiraling castle stairs, frantically pounding the walls, trying to remember where the passage was. He had used it 1,000,000 times to enter, but never to escape. The infant, nestled in his dark cloak, let out a wailing cry that was loud enough to be heard by him, but thankfully not loud enough to penetrate the awful noise of war and give away their location. Finally, a stone budged and the wall slowly gave way to a small passage. Michael crawled through clumsily like a wounded animal, holding still to the crying babe. Usually torches were lit along the walls to light his way, but no one had lit the torches tonight. It was just utter blackness. He fumbled in the dark, feeling his way, trying to determine which direction was the right one that would direct him home. East, west, north, south. There was a loud rattling above him as tiny rocks came off the stone ceiling and rained on his head. He shuffled his knees as quickly as he could muster. The child's cries bounced off the stone and echoed all around him. There, in the distance, he could see starlight shining through. He quickened his pace all the more, almost there. A loud screech was heard outside, a cry of a dragon. Michael paused for a moment, listening to the fumbling steps of the wounded creature, seeing through the veil of night sky its large, shadowy form moving through the trees and then falling right near his passage out. He knew he shouldn't fear them. They were just animals after all, not intrinsically evil as the kingdom he hailed from would like to believe. Still, he was afraid. Evil or not, the dragon could mistake him for the enemy. He could lash out. Or, Michael unfolded his cloak and peered into the soft green eyes of draconian royalty that would likely never know her lineage. Or he could bond with the child and mark her as one of his pack. Michael crawled toward the beast. It was breathing heavily against the dirt, sending smoke like a fog around Michael and the child. Its closed eyelids opened, and orange eyes watched as Michael unfolded his cloak to show the naked infant in his arms. The dragon inched toward them, puffing out smoke as he went. Michael placed the child in a half-burnt circle of flowers, a fitting bed, he thought. The dragon placed its nostril on the child's wrist. Her cries had now ceased, and she looked up at the dragon. Her fingers uncurled, and she reached out as if wanting to pet him. The dragon watched her as she touched the blood dripping down the scales of his face. Then, alongside the song of a gentle breeze rushing by them, he breathed out the smallest flame and let a small ember land on her wrist. The child let out a cry, and Michael hurriedly picked her up. "Thank you," he whispered, before rushing past the large-bodied creature into a thicket of white bark trees. The mountains hung before him like pointed shadows. He was almost home. He looked down for a moment at the tiny infant in his arms. She was to be his daughter now. He chuckled to himself. Me, the father of a princess. Me, who am a peasant. Oh. He brushed back her dark hair, sticky with vernix, and kissed her forehead. You will be cared for as my own, I assure you, Ava.